Gentlemen No Class is proud to be a part of the HC Universal Network. Gentlemen No Class is produced, mixed, and edited by M5 Studios.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/gentsnoclass. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
And don't forget to check out other podcasts on HC Universal Network, like Dudes of Beer, Yes But Why, Scary Dad, Talking Sound, Richard Spazoff, and the Blah 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 Show. So don't forget to check that out.
Fuck stick, huh?
And of course, the fuel for this podcast tonight is brought to you from Eureka Heights. Tonight we will be indulging in some business time IPA tall boys, courtesy of our friends at Eureka Heights. There's also some Buckle Bunnies scattered around the table. So be sure to check out your local dispensary, otherwise known as your liquor store or your favorite craft beer aisle of your favorite grocery store.
This podcast contains explicit language and is intended for adult audiences. The views and opinions of Gentlemen No Class are strictly for comedic purposes and should not be taken literally. For instance, like this disclaimer. Now grab yourself a pint and enjoy.
Welcome to another episode of Gentlemen No Class, a podcast that when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I'm Jake.
I'm Raph. Supposed to be Paul.
And I'm Rob.
And like it or not, gentle ladies and gentlemen, we are the host for this episode.
And this degenerate motherfucker walks back in here today. Welcome back, Raph.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
He's been asleep the whole He's been hibernating the whole time.
That's exactly what I've been fucking doing.
I thought that's exactly what I've been fucking.
Winter time is over.
Yeah.
But for your Game of Thrones fans,
winter's almost here.
there you go.
Oh, shit. That is correct.
T-minus what? How many weeks?
I don't give a shit.
I think it's like at the end of this month,
Fuck
no?
you.
April 14th.
Okay.
8 p.m. Central. HBO.
Pretty sure I'll be doing something else.
It's going to get hot.
It's going to be, it's going to be intense. It's going to be some pretty heavy episodes.
Wait, what else gets released at that time that's like supposedly like fucking that might counter
Game of Thrones? I don't think anything
No,
can
I don't
counter
know if it's
Game of
gonna
Nobody's
Thrones.
got the balls.
They're trying to go up against it?
Somebody has the balls to I forgot what it is. No,
Nobody's stupid enough to do that.
No, there is. There is.
No, that can't be.
Damn it, I should have fucking
It's happening a
wrote
lot
it
of times
down.
in movies, too.
Yeah, well.
What movies?
I can't think
What
of it, but
movie?
I know it's happened. I know it's happened.
We're talking about like a fucking like Tombstone.
Would they
and
try to
fucking-
come out and...
Yeah, it's some, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
off the wall movie or low budget film. I don't know, some shit. And there's a huge blockbuster comes in. Comes
Well,
out
I
at the
mean,
same
we're not
time.
talking about movies. We're talking about something that's
I
going
know,
to try to
I know,
compete
but
with Game of
what
Thrones
I'm
on
saying,
Sunday
it's similar.
nights.
That's happened before.
I'm not disagreeing. with you.
Releasing,
Yeah.
you're having some balls that goes against a
Releasing
giant like
with
that.
balls, you say.
and the pants.
You chose to
unzipped.
put those together that way.
I didn't choose that. They chose me.
Like the God Hates Us All album came out on 9/11.
Oh yeah, what
Did it
perfect
really?
timing. Yeah, so, it's 2001.
Wow.
Fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and they have a song called Payback. Talk about terrorists and like Payback's a bitch motherfucker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
That's big
Hashtag
time.
foreshadowing.
Big time. Tom Araya knew something.
So what's been new? We skipped a week. Sorry, that was my fault. I'll take credit for that. We had some
Life happens.
life happens.
Yeah,
We'll just
man.
leave it at that. So lots of interesting things in the news lately. Somebody Jake has brought out his book. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure
Well,
you've got some stuff.
did you hear the news of James Gunn
No.
James Gunn is back, baby.
back
Back directing
what?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Really?
They
They
forgave
brought him
him
back.
They
Back
finally
by
grew a
popular
spine.
demand.
That's
Oh,
right.
shit.
Yeah,
I love you, Disney. I didn't mean that.
He did apologize. I mean, he apologized. Even when Disney like said that they weren't bringing him back, Like, he still apologized for it.
Yeah.
The tweets were 10 years old.
I know.
mean, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, come on.
I mean, if I'm running for office 10 years from now, which is highly doubtful, but if I am,
Hashtag Christian
I
Angus.
I hope this podcast comes and follows me.
I'm proud of this
Yes,
podcast.
I'm proud of this podcast.
Let it follow me.
But see, I think he had a backbone of support from the cast because
Oh, yeah, you
Karen
got that,
Julian,
yeah.
who plays Nebula,
Yeah.
she tweeted, "We are Groot," meaning I guess like this is a family because I think what
It's his
I am Groot,
story,
right?
man. Yeah.
I know,
no,
right?
he's like, we are Groot.
Yeah.
So- and I know
Dave Bautista was like, "Fuck
vouched
that."
for him
Yeah,
and, like,
he was like, "This is his deal."
Exactly.
He was basically like, "I'm out if he's not in it." And I mean, then I think his manager was like, "Well, I mean, you should read your contract because you're in it."
Can't body slam your way out of this one, can you?
Oh, where's that? That sounds
You
so
want that
familiar.
money
Can't
or
body-
not? You want to get back in the ring?
Oh, like Jingle All the Way, can't bench press your way out of this one.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, think R. Kelly will get off that easy or no?
Kelly?
No, you can't.
Yeah, no, he's
No, you're mixing apples and oranges with
Well,
that.
you know what the fuck? I don't know what is a Mark Kelly.
R.
R.
Kelly.
Kelly.
R. Kelly. I'm
He
sorry.
knew what
He
you were
wants
saying.
to pee on you.
Yeah,
Man, my hearing is
he was
fucked.
and film you.
Oh, that's the
I want to piss on you. Drip, drip, drip.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, good for him. James Gunn's good to have him.
I was
back
gonna
on-
say R. Kelly. Good for R. Kelly.
Oh no.
Good for R. Kelly too.
Oh, yeah.
Anything
They
else
fucking-
trending in the news?
Fucking, oh, dude, that fucking Cardi B thing is making me laugh my fucking ass off, dude. A lot of people
Tell
are
us
fucking-
about Cardi B.
Do explain.
Okay.
What? I don't even know what the fuck it
okay,
is
sh-
either. But yeah.
Okay, so she's a hip hop artist.
Okay.
I guess she falls under that category
Seems
as a hip hop
typical.
artist. But she posted an Instagram, and I believe it's 3 years ago, where she admits that she used to drug men and rob them. And I believe this, it says this was in her
Seems like
strip.
an honest pastime. But
Well,
yeah.
this was during her stripper years. I believe. Like,
Whoa. Go back. Say that again.
This was during her stripper
Her
years.
stripper years?
Yes.
Which was how long?
It says the article I read is 3 years ago. Well, it said the
This
Instagram
incident
post
happened 3 years ago.
No, the Instagram post was posted 3 years ago.
She was a stripper 3 years ago.
No, not 3 years ago. Now, I don't believe she was a stripper 3 years ago, but during her stripper years, or she used to do that. But she posted that up on Instagram as she was
3
you know,
years ago.
Yeah,
3 years ago.
I don't think it matters when she was a stripper. Just the fact that you
Yeah.
actually did that.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so she admits to this. And
No, well, yeah. I mean, she posted up. Like I think it's like
sorry, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, we
pretty
can
much,
tell.
Yeah, pretty much just saying like, yeah, I used to drug men and fucking rob them. So she would like,
Hashtag girl power.
She
She got no pushback on it at all.
And
I
the-
guarantee it.
well, the thing
Yeah,
is that
the guy did it. Yeah, the other way around be fucking shunned.
I mean,
big
there is
time.
the question, like, you know, should she be fucking accountable for that? Like, should she be
Yeah,
charged for it?
she
Yes.
absolutely should be. If any
Some
men
people-
came forward and accused her,
Yeah.
but no man's going to come forward because that's the double standard in this country.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
But
You heard
yeah.
that, ladies and gents?
So she was pulling Bill Cosby's without the fucking. And the guys wanted the fucking. That was the thing. That's how she lured them. She said that, hey, we can go back to this hotel and fuck, and no fucking involved.
Dang, got to
Just
go.
getting fucked over.
So we are right now less than a month away from Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
Tickets should be on sale Monday or Tuesday. We're going to make that a Gentleman No Class event, I think.
Yeah, so
So
are we doing the bar run after that?
yeah, dude, of course. We may do. You know what I think we should do? We'll talk about this later, but I think that we'll do something. Maybe we'll do like an on-site, like first reaction interview, podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
I ran into some buddies of mine at the end of Captain Marvel. I have a group that we've been going for years, and Jake, you've come, and
Right,
you know
right,
that guy.
right.
So like Ryan's not going. That's for Avengers Endgame. He's gonna go see
God
with his
damn it,
dad.
Ryan.
Well, he's gonna go.
Oh, yeah,
He's
okay.
gonna go see with his dad. He promised his dad he'd see him, but it's not till Saturday. I'm gonna go with him then, but I'm gonna try to coordinate this. Maybe we can meet up at Little Woodrow's with the guys that are friends of mine. They have a movie fan club group that they added me on Facebook. that's nothing but
Nice.
movies that we're all fans of. So maybe we can. I know that they're going to be there that night for that showing. So maybe we can hook up with them and do like an on-site, like real quick first reaction Avengers Endgame.
Nice, yeah.
Podcast right after that. And
I need to find a group like that for Twin Peaks. No, there's not going to be
I
one.
need to get
Not
into
locally.
that, man. You keep
dude,
on talking about
dude, there's a group for that on Facebook. I guarantee you can find
Well,
it.
of course there is. I know there's one, but I want a fucking talk in person. Like,
That's how you meet them, and then you go meet
no,
up.
but this is national though. This isn't local. But
So
whatever.
you find a local one, dummy. That's what I'm trying to say.
There's not gonna be one. Trust me.
If I find one by the end of this podcast, you have to go. I'm going to sign
I
you
will.
up. All right.
All right.
I fucking doubt it. I
Yes.
doubt it. There's not that many fans.
Find one.
I don't. So I can shut up about it finally.
No,
Yeah.
I don't. Shit, I kind of enjoy hearing little bits about it, but
Yeah.
I get to sit down and watch a whole show.
Elaborate on that.
It's a tough watch. So the whole Jay and Silent Bob reboot. I think
It's going to be so good.
Jason Biggs and James Vanderbeek making another cameo in this. new-
Shannon Elizabeth also.
Oh, Shannon Elizabeth, yes, sir.
Yeah, he's been heavy on the Instagram, showing his love for everybody. Rosario Dawson's coming back.
Oh, nice.
Holy shit!
He's getting everybody back, dude.
Isn't she banging Momoa?
Is she?
I think so. I think so. You can fact check me, but Aquaman, what's his name?
That's
I
more-
thought
that's-
I thought Aquaman was married to what's her name from Cosby Show? That fucking
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. No, I don't think. No, I don't think so.
the mother of Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, Lisa Bonet?
Yeah, isn't Momoa married to Lisa?
I don't know.
No, I think you're probably right. I think
Yeah.
you are right. No, you're absolutely
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
Momoa's married.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
where I
yeah.
got confused. Right.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, you're right.
Good for him.
Yeah.
You can see the, a little, kind of look alike, kind of, no?
Who?
Rosario Dawson and Bonet. I kind of got them kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I can
There's
get
some
it confused
features.
after
Yeah,
a couple
there's some
beers.
features. Yeah.
I can get a couple.
A couple beers. Why am I'm a couple beers in, baby? Okay.
She's
Confused, fucking Momoa's hollering at fucking Rosie. Come here, baby.
Get him.
She's been linked to she's dated Eric Andre and
I am the octopus.
Hell yeah, Eric.
yeah, Rosario Dawson.
Rosario. Dawson.
Rosario.
Wow, good for
yeah,
Eric.
for a long time. So so anyway, so
I think
that's
Kevin Smith banged that.
no, but he was banging Joey Lauren Adams. And she was, that's how he got. She's back for a Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Ooh, that's conflict.
I don't know. You know what? I gotta hold on while I'm thinking about this. Anybody who hasn't seen Captain Marvel at this point, shame on you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'll take that.
I'll take that shame. Yeah.
I'll carry that.
there is the Stan Lee cameo that's in Captain Marvel. Holy shit, it's great because Captain Marvel's set in the 90s. And the Stan Lee cameo is that he's on the bus reading his lines from the Mallrats script.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Very
Dude,
nice.
Kevin Smith
Oh,
he Instagrammed when he came out of that thing. He's like, I was in tears.
Yeah.
He had no idea they did that.
And if you were here in last podcast, Ralph, you would have heard this.
Did we talk about this
Yeah,
last
I
time?
think so.
Damn, bro.
God damn, man. This shit
Pulling
cuts.
raps.
God damn, he cuts deep, dude.
That was a deep cut. I'm sorry. U of H is in the playing the championship game.
Oh,
Actually.
yes, the round throwing ball.
Not championship game, but
round throwing
the round
ball.
throwing ball. They play in like 15 minutes against Kentucky. So
Yeah, U of H versus U of K.
Oh.
yeah,
JFK?
Yeah, sure.
let's call that
This is the furthest that they've ever gotten in
since the 80s.
March Madness, right?
Well, since
Or is
Phi
this
Slamma
Sweet
Jamma.
Is this Sweet 16?
Yes, sir. The next one goes to the
Wow.
Elite
Do you
Eight.
think they're going to make it into the
I hope, but I don't know.
orgasmic 8 or whatever it is?
The Elite Eight, close enough.
Whatever.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I don't know.
I
We'll
like
see.
that. I like that title, Ben.
I would like to think so, but
Orgasmic.
it's going to be a tough one.
I'm a fan of Houston, so, whatever. I don't care what
They
it
get
is.
if they get enough touchdowns,
Yeah.
they'll win.
Have you guys checked out The Dirt yet?
I watched like the first 30 seconds of it, and I couldn't.
Really?
Just the intro. Just like, is this the way they probably did party that hard and stuff like that. It didn't
It's
seem
good,
entertaining.
man. I liked it.
A lot of people, I heard a lot of people say it's pretty
You see
good.
it?
Yeah, I watched it. Me and Melissa
Fucking-
watched it last night.
Give me a straw. Give me a straw. Give me a bomb.
So for those of you that
We
don't know
don't
about
have
the
any.
dirt, why don't you elaborate?
blow, Ozzy.
Why don't you, before you get into the dialogue, why don't you talk about the dirt and what it's about?
I said, give me a bomb.
Yeah, it's about cocaine. That's all it's about.
No, it's not.
Well,
So
Ozzy was
the-
trying to do cocaine.
Yeah, I mean the movie is based on the book by Motley Crue, The Dirt, which is kind of like their autobiography that the four of them collaborated and wrote.
Oh, all
And
four
there's-
got together?
Yeah,
Oh,
all
okay.
four of them.
Nice, nice.
All four of them wrote the book. The book was released in 2001, ish, I think, somewhere around there, if I read correctly. But it's basically, you know, like they're up and coming, like Nikki Sixx founding the band, you know,
Yeah.
meeting Tommy Lee, then, you know, bringing in Mick Mars answering a newspaper
Yeah.
ad, and then, you know, finding Tommy knew Vince from high school. It's kind of just like all
It's a
about their
docu-film, by
Yeah,
the way.
it's all
If you know what that means.
it's a biopic.
No,
Biopic.
No, well, like it was like I thought that's what it was. Almost like kind of because
not-
they break the fourth wall a lot.
They do break the fourth wall because
And-
there's a lot of stuff that they say
Yeah.
straight off. They're like,
Like-
this didn't really happen, but this
Yeah.
this makes for a good
Yeah, I
movie.
caught a little bit of that
Yeah.
in 30 seconds.
You watched 30 whole seconds
Yeah,
of it?
30
You're
whole
You know what I
full
was
of
gonna
shit.
say? You know what I was gonna say? I remember a while back. I forgot how long ago, but we did have a podcast where you said like, you know, oh, I picked the bassist because you know nobody wants to be the bassist. And
He
I
says
was
that a
thinking-
lot.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, there, look, Motley Crue, the bassist was the band.
Well, that's because Nikki Sixx was the only one who had like any vision for that band, and he's not a great bass player. Just just in terms of bass players in general, he's not. But I have a lot more respect for Nikki.
There's a
Sixx
joke
after-
It's
somewhere
more
in
of a
there that I'm not going to
songwriter
fetch
is
out.
what it
Yeah.
Yeah,
is.
he was a great,
Songwriting.
he wrote all the lyrics. I mean,
Yeah,
Is there such a
he wrote
thing
most
as
of
a
the
great
music,
bass
though.
player?
I'll tell you what.
Oh, I love it.
Let's just compare. Let's compare how many stages this year you've played on versus how many I've played on.
I'm not arguing that because I'm out of the music business, man. I'm in the podcast business.
That's what
I'm in the entertainment business.
There you go. There you go.
there you go. That trumps all.
Yeah.
That's
The Trump. That trumps.
So
trumps
the,
all.
You get that out now.
you get the fuck out of here.
Ralph, why don't you build that wall? All right.
And
Fuck
the-
that. Fuck
So
that.
the dirt was good. It wasn't factually correct a lot of the times. There was a lot of things that didn't line up with like true events because I think the book was written in like 2001. I'm pretty sure that was the year it came out, but it may have been later than that. But it shows like Mick Mars getting his hip replaced, which didn't happen until 2004. And there's a lot of stuff that it shows that like it shows them being all like butt buddies and like, oh, we're brothers, this is a family. But in honesty, like in all truth, like be told, like after they got back together in the early 2000s, like Tommy Lee quit that band and like they recorded an album with another drummer. They
Oh, no
recorded an
shit.
album with another singer. You know what I mean? Like they were not fans of each other for a lot of times, you know, as the older they got. But I mean, basically it shows the excess and the party that was Motley Crue. I mean, and they lived up to that name. And you watch that movie and you watch kind of the background of who these guys were and just kind of their personalities when they joined the band, and the stuff that is factually correct about it. And these guys they were born and bred to be fucking rock stars. I mean, they just were. That's just who they were. They weren't doing it because they thought that's what they were supposed to be doing. They were doing that because that's what they wanted to do, and it was fucking fun.
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
only reason that they did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Nikki Sixx had like a terrible childhood, and like
Yeah.
the film shows that like Tommy Lee had a fucking great
Yeah.
childhood. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he doesn't dispute any of that. You know, like
Right.
and Vince Neil had a fucking terrible life. You know, as an adult. You know, like from killing a friend of his in a car accident. His daughter died of cancer
yeah.
when she was 4.
Shit.
I mean, like.
Yeah.
They just went through some shit, and like Mick Mars is dealing with the degenerative bone disease. He's like 7 or 8 years older than all of them.
They call it old man.
They keep calling him old
Yeah,
man.
they
in
keep
the
calling him
movie.
old man throughout the whole
great.
movie. But
But the
I mean,
actor that plays him too.
yeah, it's
fucking-
Ramsey Bolton.
Yeah, man. I was
he did a
fucking-
really good job. You know,
Yeah, man. I was really entertained watching him.
you know, the guy, you know, I will give it, I don't know who he is, in context of like, whatever you call it, like context of like the social aspect of today, but the guy Machine Gun Kelly that played Tommy Lee, fuck, he did a good job as Tommy Lee.
Yeah, he does a good job as an actor.
And you know, he was goofy like Tommy Lee. He had all the same like mannerisms as Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
And the guy that played Nikki Sixx, I mean, he acted and talked just like Nikki Sixx. Nikki Sixx is one of those guys that is just, they don't come around very often. Like just like a true music visionary. Like he's the one that took Papa Roach under his wings. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
shit.
Jacoby Shaddix will tell you, he's like, when they started Papa Roach, you know, he was calling himself Kobe D, and then like they met Motley Crue and they met Nikki Sixx, and he's like, yeah, Nikki Sixx taught me how to be a rock star. And like he kind of embraced his name and changed it back, and like you can tell, like Nick, he dresses like Nikki Sixx.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the hair.
And
like this kid.
yeah, and so like
Papa Roach.
it was
brother.
anyway. I mean,
More
that's
like it.
You talk about like what a quintessential rock and roll band was. Nobody did it better than Motley Crue. I mean, they've always been one of my favorite bands, just because. I mean, they wrote great, just
they
kind
got a
of
lot of
timeless
hits.
songs.
A lot of hits, for
I mean,
sure.
the Mick Mars was a
respect that.
fucking monster guitar player. The rest of the band's mediocre, but Vince Neil's voice and Mick Mars' guitar, like, I think they kind of say it at the end of the movie, like, you know, when Tommy gets behind the kit and Nicky plugs in his bass and Mick plays the guitar and Vince grabs the mic, magic happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the way it is with a lot of bands that you like, that you just love. You know what I mean? Like,
Rarely experienced that, but I
think
it's a nice feeling.
I think it's safe to say that when, you know, teeny pop stars and you know, little people that don't necessarily listen to that music wear Motley Crue and Slayer shirts and shit like that. Yeah,
like the Kardashians.
You made it. You know, yeah.
Like, well, say it again, Jacob?
No, they
You
use it
mean
as a fashion statement. Look at my
well,
Motley Crue shirt. Look at my Motorhead shirt. Look at my Slayer shirt. But, you know, damn well they don't know one song from that. Or they, you know, man.
Exactly.
You know you made it if you're at that point. I wonder if The Dirt is on Audible.
It is not.
It is not. Okay.
It is not. That was one of the things, one of the books that I wanted to add to my Audible account. I looked for it. It is not on there.
I want to believe you, but yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking dick. So,
Oh, yeah.
what other news we got going on?
Little.
So, there is there was a Reddit thread the other day where
The other day, you say?
Yeah, it was the other day, like 2 or 3 days ago. The plot outline of Avengers Endgame was commented in a comment on a Reddit thread.
Ooh.
And I think the thread was deleted at some point, maybe.
Oh, wow.
But
Ant-Man going up to Thanos' ass.
I caught the comment, I caught the plot line, the plot outline, and like comparatively speaking versus like the set photos that we've seen, and like knowing how the Russo brothers, like what they've said about the movie and how like everything kind of ties in, I'm thinking it's the correct plot outline. I read it.
They got too close?
I mean, I think that whoever the guy was, like they weren't able to like 100% verify, but like all the things that he said, like was this plot outline that he leaked, like he's like, this is the official plot outline, this is what's going to happen. And basically like some of the other leaks that came out like lined up perfectly with his, and like the set photos make sense. It's a lot of things. So anyway, I read through it, and I'm really looking forward to the movie now.
Yeah. Now, Rob, don't be, your typical, I got closure anxiety. I gotta. Don't spoil it for the rest of us.
I was gonna say,
you keep that shit to yourself.
I'm keeping it to myself.
Where can you find that? In case someone's enthused to see
No,
to
fuck
look
that.
that up.
I'm not
I'm not going to give you.
No.
Not us. I mean,
I'm not going to. Dude, this was big news. It was all over. It was on
so it's easily accessible.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easily accessible.
Comicbook.com. There it is again.
That's a great source, man.
You can go on Reddit.com and search for Avengers Endgame plot outline. Okay. I mean, Screen Rant ran the story. There's a lot of websites that ran it. You know what I mean?
Is there a sex scene?
Damn, Marvel's getting
immediately
now.
To Thanos' chin. No, maybe. Okay. Dang it. Just me, I guess. Smollett. Anybody? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, we can get into that. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, Leah.
I mentioned that earlier.
So just to follow up with what Rob was talking about in the previous episodes when he announced that Jussie Smollett, is it Jussie or Jesse? Jussie with the U, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Jesse!
Jussie Smollett pretty much, I don't think he even got a fine. He just walks scot-free.
Not true. He did not. Okay, they dropped the charges against him, but this is what they said. They dropped the charges against him, but they did not exonerate him.
Okay.
Like, he came out in a press conference and was like, I told you I was telling the truth and I'm not guilty and blah, blah. But then the Chicago PD...
Wait a minute. Now he's still backing up his original claims then.
Oh, he came
because of this.
Yes.
He came out.
Oh, yeah, because then didn't a D...
Yeah.
No,
he came out flexing like he was...
Fuck yeah, he came out flexing. Yeah, that's what he fucking did.
My cock.
Fucking,
I
picture
coming out
it.
the fucking courthouse with the
that's
fucking
exactly
arms
what
in the air.
basically.
Arms on his... Yeah, fucking hulking out.
Actually flexing.
And I mean,
No,
him
his
and
dick's
his
hanging
lawyer,
out too. His dick's hanging out.
Him and his lawyer both came out and said, "I've stuck by my story the whole time. I'm just thank God that things going my way, blah blah." And then the DA and the Chicago PD came out and said the terms of this deal were made. They weren't made secret, but we did not exonerate him. He did not have to plead guilty. We just dropped the charges in exchange for him doing an undisclosed amount of community service for Chicago and forfeiting his $10,000 bail.
Oh, wow.
So the Chicago PD have let him off, but the Federal Justice Department is talking about pursuing charges against him.
Because of the mail.
Yeah.
Because of mail.
What the Chicago PD fucked up doing is they charge him in 16 fucking felonies. There's no way you charge somebody in that many felonies with the evidence that they had and get and get a guilty verdict on any of them. If they would have focused on 2 or 3, they probably wouldn't. This probably wouldn't have happened.
Sounds like the HPD right now. I'm sorry.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah. Read the news, guys.
But okay, when you say they did not exonerate him, so that means
they did not. They did not
means,
say that he was not guilty. They just said that they're dropping the charges.
So
and they're probably
he's
dropping,
guilty, right?
You're innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
So there's no pending charges right now.
There's no pending charges. Basically the problem was I think that this story got so blown up that there was no way that they were going to be able to find a jury discreet enough to try him in a court of law to make him innocent. It would have turned into a race deal. It would have been a whole big smear on the Chicago PD.
Okay, I see.
So instead of just turning it into a witch hunt, he's a celebrity. They were just like, go to the children's hospitals, use your celebrity for something good. You forfeit your $10,000 bond, and we're not gonna turn this into a media circus. We have better things to spend our budget on.
Did you say go to the hospitals and do your celebrity thing?
Or use your celebrity?
If I was in the hospital and he came in, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, man!
You ain't Captain America. They told me Captain America was coming.
I'd rather
What the fuck is he gonna do at the hospital too?
I know.
Hey, how you doing? I rip people off. Oh wait, I stand by what I said the first time. That was the second time. That was just a test to see if you believe me for the first time.
Don't knock him for trying, man.
That's true. Can't blame him. Gotta get E for effort. He did.
There's some effort into that. That's
he
a motivation, baby.
He pulled.
He's a moron, though.
He's okay
he
in my
hired
book.
2 of his friends. He hired 2 of his friends.
Hey, do you know this podcast
Allegedly.
If 4 brothers taught me anything, it's you get outside shooters.
Never in town.
Never in.
Shut up and share a man with your meal.
Man with your meal, right?
Yeah.
You're not
twins. Not a meal with your man.
But you know what? Let's bring him on board. I mean, this is a gentleman no class. I think he's well fitting in
we
this.
call him out.
Jussie Smollett, give us a fucking email. Come on the show.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your side of it.
Please.
I want to hear exactly how much money this costs.
We want to know how much you stand by the truth, even though though you said you weren't.
Bang on the fucking table, you goddamn.
I'm making a fucking point.
I don't care. You're not a very good one.
Not a good.
Okay, all right, I see how it is. Someone's gonna get a gun.
Ultra Cliff.
Yeah, it's coming out of me. Yeah, come on.
Oh damn! I almost spit my beer out with that. Dude, y'all caught me off guard.
Come on to our show. We'll pay you
Off guard on that one.
and buckle bunnies because we don't have that much
Handshakes and
any money.
high fives.
Yeah, he's a-
Provide your own transportation and your own
Yeah, come to Houston.
and you can, but
Phone us in.
Yeah,
that's cool, too.
Yeah, we can call. You can call. I got to figure out a way to verify that it's actually him. I don't want like.
we'll
I don't
get
want
him.
fucking Ray Valdez calling saying this is Justice Smollett.
I'll dance.
Fucking
if
asshole.
it is Ray. Fuck it, I don't
This
care.
fucking asshole. That's Ray.
Oh man.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well,
Yeah. Jesse, to some, you are a hero.
So, what do y'all think about? What do y'all think about this whole like college admissions scandal? Like,
ooh,
people,
Rebecca Donaldson's catching the heat on this.
Full House, Jacob's favorite. What's her name? Aunt Becky.
Lori Loughlin.
She's not that bad. She's easy on the eyes. Right on one.
No.
Even
Is that
now,
what we're
she's
talking
still
about?
easy on the
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
Yeah. What is she like? The mastermind?
Well,
Behind
okay,
this? What's the deal?
apparently
Help me out.
she was in cahoots with USC. For those of you who don't know, it's University of
Show
Southern
me in.
California. It's like she was like on the
Tell me
record.
more.
So if I give you $500,000, we'll leave it at that, and pretty much her daughter will get admitted. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And now there's a scandal because you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to get in academically, you know?
Yeah.
Or if you're a
So-
freak in athletics.
It wasn't like a
Well,
Ponzi
it's been a
scheme,
whole
was it?
like it's been a whole lot of celebrities exposed to
Like
this.
Dr.
It's
Dre.
really-
You see what
so,
Dr. Dre
like,
posted?
no,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, so the big thing is like, you know, you've had celebrities that do they've been, it's so deep. It was this one guy who was helping with everything. They were doing like faking athletic scholarships like on the water polo team, and the kid was never actually on the team. And then, you know,
Damn.
you know what I mean? Like,
Water polo is a real sport, guys.
Fuck you too.
What y'all laughing about, man?
This isn't charades. Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
no, fuck you! Don't hand signal
I
me
wasn't.
shit.
so I mean, this is a big deal. Obviously.
No, it is
like
for
it's
sure.
just
You're taking away a spot for someone that actually deserves to go to that school.
exactly. This is ultra
That
white
sucks.
privilege, and that's me saying that. I mean,
Thank you, Rob.
Damn. Jacob didn't even have to say it.
I haven't brought it up.
is. I mean, but it is. This. You want to talk about white privilege? There's dumb shit that Jacob says is white privilege, but then there's real
Jokingly.
shit. There's dumb shit like this that is
true.
is rich white people, you know, getting away with whatever the fuck they want, and
Yeah.
Like a Papa Roach on
Just like
TV.
any other country
So, hey, what were you gonna say about Dr. Dre?
that are rich.
Oh, Dr. Dre tweeted a photo of his daughter saying that she got in with no help, but
and then he remembered he donated
it's like
$70,000.
No, 70. I think it's like him and another partner, 70 million. I think to
that school?
to that school, and they have a hall or a building named after him and this other guy.
Yeah, but
for like a recording
it wasn't
arts.
a bribe. I mean, that was just,
Man, no, his
Let's be real though. In universities,
That could be any Dre, Dr. Dre.
Any university, if you're going to donate
That's what
that
his
much
response
money,
was.
your family's going to that
yeah,
school. You know,
everybody you
Ain't
know is
Dr.
going to
Dre.
that.
I mean,
Well,
seriously.
so this brings up the bigger topic of corruption in universities and how much money that it costs to go to the university. You know what I mean?
I've looked this up, like non-profit or for-profit colleges. I read an article, like it's hard to find this info, like to see what actual money, where the money goes. Like A&M, like I forgot the revenue, like it's fucking just that college, not any, you know, like there's many colleges here.
Texas A&M is a public university.
Yeah, all that fucking money, where does it go? And I read an article, like they're very discreet. They don't like the you know, public or give out public records of where the money goes. Where the
Well,
fuck
it's
is
not-
this?
Well,
you know,
that's a state school.
I
They
know.
have to, their budget is state approved. They have to do all that shit. But I mean, yeah.
For the
you're-
most part,
you're
though,
right.
I read on this guy, this investigator was trying to find out because I was curious too. It's like where
Like all this fucking money, like, or I'm just curious, like, how much does like this school generate a year? Like, I'm just curious, like, and that information you can't, it's not public. And you
It
know,
is public. You just have to be. You have to. It's not published.
Right.
Is what you're. It's public. It's just not published.
You probably have to do a little
have to
research.
Go, you have
Yeah,
to go to
but-
Austin and then pull the records.
Well, for the most part,
Or
what
College
he was
Station
saying
for
was
A&M.
like they were still like
No, you can't go to A&M and get that. You have to go to the
Austin,
state.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But see, you know, in A&M's defense, not because my wife went there, it's just
Yeah.
that they are doing a lot of
Sure.
renovation. We went over there 2 weeks ago, and it was completely changed to when the last time I visited.
Yeah.
They have a lot of dormitories that are building up, and they new
Yeah.
education halls and stuff.
There's a lot of good-looking women in College Station.
Yeah,
No. There's a lot of good-looking
Yeah.
drunk women.
How the fuck do you think?
when I was
oh,
running through that crowd with that camera, hey, they didn't mind. Fucking seeing this, seeing this.
you know, potato body,
I look like
potato
a
body.
hobo. I look like a hobo running around with a GoPro, fucking filming people like up to their face, and they're like, "Hey, yeah!" It's fucking.
You should have been like,
"Give me the
"Lift
whole
up, lift up."
Yeah, I think I would
And
have
this
kicked
is,
out by then.
It was.
So this is, in 10 years, this is going to be a Me Too conversation. Just letting y'all know.
Yeah, anything is, man.
It'd only be a Me Too conversation if women actually listen to this podcast. Which
Yeah.
they mostly
Well, that or I have a
That's
buttload
true.
of money, which I don't think is going
which
to happen.
neither one of those is happening.
Well, we'll see. The future's bright, man.
Right? Like, shit, I'm
Never
gonna,
know.
I'm catching the case.
Yeah,
That's on my bucket list.
That's
I'm
the
catching
money.
case.
That's where the money's
That's
gonna
so
come from.
fucking-
So I think
That's fucked up.
the last piece of news, I mean, you guys got any more news or anything? Last piece of news, I think in roughly around to this date, 6 weeks, I think it's fair enough to say, the big event, Comic Palooza, is happening here in Houston.
Yeah.
Just wanted
Is that 6 weeks away?
That's close enough. May 10th
Yeah,
through the 12th.
six weeks from today.
Yeah, that's.
Is it really? Yeah, that's what
6
three
weeks from
beers.
today.
That's what 3 16 ounces get you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, he's pounding them. Look at him.
Yeah. So,
I got some work to do.
It's been that kind of
Yeah, it's a fucking hell of a day today, man. But,
Gentlemen, No Class going hard at Comic Palooza this year. We're going to be out there. I know we were out
Oh,
there
yeah.
a lot last year, but we're going to be
humping.
we're going to be exploiting those press passes hard this year.
Oh yes,
Now
we
that-
know.
now that
We
we
know the
know-
privilege.
Now we-
have the privilege.
Hashtag press pass
There
privilege.
you go, Jacob. Finally, we get some white privilege. Press motherfucker. There you go, Jacob. Enjoy it.
Last
It's
year,
gonna,
when-
well, it's going to be the same thing.
I think we
So-
should use our press passes. Yeah, let's try.
Yeah. So, I mean, this year, headlining, I mean, with Game of Thrones being what it is right now, I mean, it's no surprise. I am surprised. They got Emilia Clarke and Nathalie Emmanuel
Thank you.
to be headlining Comic Palooza. So it's a whole, like,
Fucking
it's
nuts.
Missandre and Khaleesi, you know, they're going to have panels, obviously. And, you know, we're still 6-7 weeks away. So there's going to be other headliners, you know, announced, bigger names.
Maybe.
Because remember, the week before Comic Palooza last year is when they announced Tom
That's
Holland.
true. That's true. And there's a possibility.
We'll keep you guys
Always-
informed too. Whatever we know, we'll release.
Yeah, so we have we don't have a set time, but we are doing we'll be doing a live podcast at Comic Palooza in the Comic Palooza podcast panel room. We were doing it on the floor last year, but that's because we were losers. Now we've got a whole room, and they're going to act.
Maybe.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing.
Maybe.
We're going to be doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to be doing some trivia on that on a whole podcast thing. And we've got some other things that we've got going on. Jake, what you know more about this? What you got going on?
So there's going to be a we're going to be doing like an advanced podcasting panel that's going to be set up. It's going to be a whole bunch of other podcasters that we're going to be a part of. As far as right now, the information that's feeding our way is kind of limited. But I mean, there's going to be. I don't know who else is going to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
This is what 16 ounces of beer
Possibility
is getting me here.
Like, we're blaming the
More to come.
Yeah.
As every year with Comic Palooza, things unfold as they go forward. Everything's pretty fluid until, you know, as far as like on our level.
If things could change, we're 6 weeks out still, but it's going to be a
Yeah.
fun weekend regardless.
We're going to be out there just doing whatever we can whenever we can do it.
Booze is going to be flowing. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So
Amongst others.
yeah, we'll be out there and we'll be doing all kinds of stuff. We'll be I think we've got some pretty fun stuff lined up for that weekend, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, we're going to take a quick break before we come back with the main topic of the evening. And so make sure you guys stick around, and we're going to refresh some beers and empty out the tanks, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, baby.
And for you, the listeners of Gentlemen No Class, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Right now, I'm listening to Heavier Than Heaven. I forget who it's by, but it's a biography of Kurt Cobain, obviously the lead singer of Nirvana. Super interesting book, gives a lot of background into his childhood and his growing up, and the author gives a really good kind of in-game story to like how his last days, his suicide went, his with his heroin addiction and things like that. And I've read the book, but there's a lot of things that, like, I don't know if you're anything like me, like when you're reading, sometimes you kind of space out and miss stuff. So listening to it while I'm driving kind of helps me, like, take more in off the book. So
If you don't mind me asking, have you finished that audiobook yet or no?
Have I finished it? No, I'm about halfway through.
Halfway through.
Yeah.
And how long did that take you? If you don't mind.
Halfway through takes me, it's about a 35 to 40 minute drive to work every day. And sometimes I forget to start it. So it's been about 3 days. I think I started it Tuesday. So I mean, not bad. It's great to listen to on your commutes, on your off weeks from Gentlemen No Class.
With Audible.com, it looks like I could go to 2 or 3 books a week.
Yeah, it's great. It's nice and relaxing. I mean, they're like you said earlier, 180,000 titles to choose from. Things that you didn't even know you needed to read, from New York Times bestsellers to anything else that you can possibly think of. If you can think of a topic, Audible has a book probably about it, on it, or something. Even if it's something dumb, like some kind of something you want to learn about, as far as music or whatever, they've got a book for it. So don't forget to download your audiobook. Go to audibletrial.com/gentsnoclass. Again, that's audibletrial.com/gentsnoclass for your free audiobook.
Very sexy.
And we're back.
Welcome back. Thanks for the beer.
Thanks. Oh yeah, we refreshed our beers, and just a reminder: be checking. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, our Facebook, all of our Instagram. We have multiple. No, we don't have multiple Instagrams. That's all I'm saying.
Multiple social media.
Yeah, there you go.
Jinx, motherfucker.
So we've got we've got a lot of stuff coming up as far as Comic Palooza goes. We talked about last episode a little bit of stuff with the Double Dares with a Z. We had a great meeting with Evan. A lot of good laughs about this over at Eureka Heights the other night. This is going to be a fucking fun time. We've got our Gentlemen No Class Street team is stepping up. Big thanks, Josh. Big Josh is stepping up, and I can't wait to see what we've got in store for you guys. So be on the lookout. We're going to have some signups coming up for teams auditions for that.
Yeah, just check out our social media pages, because we're going to unleash the actual release date for you to go to Eureka Heights, sign up, and you can actually participate in this Double Dares event.
I think we're trying to figure out how to use the internet and how to put this application process online so that you don't. If you can't make it to Eureka Heights, you can to sign up and for an audition for this, you can go on our website or our Facebook page and pitch us your team. So be thinking of that. Teams of 2, creative team names. Why we should pick you. This is not a free deal. Like, there's some great prizes. I mean, really good prizes.
Same prizes. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Surprised that they got prizes.
We've been working up
prizes,
this.
yeah.
Nice.
Eureka Heights is stepping up and throwing in some really cool shit, and Gentlemen No Class is stepping up and throwing in some cool shit, and like you're really going to want to compete for this. This is going to be a lot of fun. So be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, go to Eureka Heights, pick up a crowler of Mu Caliente, or, take home some business time IPA. You put down 3 of these motherfuckers. How are they, Jake?
Man, I love me some IPAs. I'm a fan.
Are you?
I'm a fan. This business time has a tie on it. Makes me want to drink one at work. I don't wear a tie at work.
Right? But someone tells you, "Are you drinking beer, sir?" Man, it's business time.
Oh wow! So what you could do, guys, if you're really ecstatic to get into this event, go to www.gentlemannoclass.com. Go to the contact page and shoot us an email. We'll read those emails and we'll be able to respond.
We read everything you guys send us. Imagine that. We get flooded with emails. Flooded with emails. And Paul goes through every single one of them individually. Yeah. And then he sends out to me and Jake the ones that are comical. So,
I can confirm
I believe
this.
that. I believe that.
100%, that's 100% factual.
And if you're lucky, you may get a selfie from Paul.
Damn, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Posing that sexy pose. Fucking yeah.
Yeah. So coming up in the next couple of weeks, we'll have some visual representation of exactly what the prizes are for this.
Yes.
Hopefully that'll drum up some support and interest in this, because I'm telling you guys, when you see the prizes for this, you're going to want to jump in on Double Dare. Double Dares.
Don't want to get sued.
Yes. Don't want to get sued.
All right, Jake, you want to lead us into our topic for this evening?
Sure. I'll roll with it. So the topic for tonight is social media and how much it can kill you if you don't, play friendly with it. Like for instance, like Roseanne Barr. What happened to her recently? You know? She literally got canned from her. Well, a year
from her own show.
For her own show.
Has anybody watched The Connors?
It's renewed for a second season.
Oh, so I mean, any of the 4?
No, I watched the first episode. I would like to watch it. Just I don't have time watching sitcoms, man. I'm too busy video editing some shit, man. Apparently,
Too busy having a
man. Whoever's got you doing that shit is working you to death. You should kick their ass.
Man, I got like a couple projects lined up, but no. So get my notes out here, man. Like for instance, Roseanne Barr, when she tweeted that stuff, they canned her. And, there's a podcast I follow. I'll name it Sword and Scale. It's on another network, which I will not name. But it's a true crime podcast that I got into about 3 years ago. And I religiously listened to it. And then the host, Mike Boudet, posted a tweet on, apparently it was Women's International Day or something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a true crime podcast that talks about dismembered body parts and kids banging their dead corpse mother, stuff like that. It's crazy, man. But it's like it's true stories, man, and it's insane. So he posted a meme that says, "I don't understand, dumb, and forgive me, ladies, cunts. Maybe I should take one apart and see how it works," which was complimenting kind of the podcast topics that it talks about, right? It's really hardcore, but I think, I'm glad we call ourselves Gentlemen No Class, because we're allowed to say stupid shit, because, Gentlemen No Class.
But are we?
I mean, it's an oxymoron. That's why I love it.
I think we talked about this recently. I mean, in an episode.
Hey.
Let's
I ain't no oxymoron. You can't say that.
Okay. Let's put it this way. There's some subtleties of becoming a gentleman, but there's also just something so pronouncing when you have no class.
Well, see, gentlemen, I would say,
amazing.
I say when
be loud as fuck.
I like that. That is you.
Yes.
Listen.
That's the pot calling the kettle black right there.
Yes.
Raph calling somebody no class.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The other day, Raph corrected me on a word.
Oh,
I know.
Who's really
rare?
Hey, man, times are changing. That means we're getting fucking old.
Yeah.
But
catching up.
I'm falling behind.
But yeah.
So I mean, with this age of, I don't even know what to call it, like the internet police, I guess,
Yeah.
like you can't really do anything.
The mob.
Social, it's like all these ideologies, like there's so many people try to force down on us, and it's like we can't. How do you expect us to understand and learn and all these beliefs that people just want to force down on us? Like it happens so rapidly, so quickly that you can't expect people to, like, if they say something like, you can't say that no more, it's like, well, I didn't get the fucking memo.
Well,
like that's
yeah.
it's like you keep up with all this shit. It's so intense, and it's like a huge boiling pot.
Listen,
if you ask me, like
ahead.
what's going on with this kind of stuff.
Right now, absolutely.
Yeah. So, what I was thinking, like, is it's basically like it's like somebody changing the rules in the middle of the game. You know what I mean? Like, if one person with enough social media following doesn't agree with one thing that you say, they basically go online and they're just like, fuck these guys. Listen to this shit that they're saying. They called this, they said this, taken completely out of context. If you took some of the stuff that we said on this show as a one-line quote, holy shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Completely out of context.
Completely out of context. It wouldn't make any sense.
Well, a mob develops.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that mob mentality.
And they attacked, in his case, Mike Boudet's case, the host of Sword and Scale, they attacked his sponsors. And the sponsors is what helps generate the revenue. He had, like, I believe, 10 plus employees working for him. This was his livelihood.
But that's the thing. And I understand it sucks. Like for him, immediately the pressure was on.
Right.
They're on, like I said, they got the sponsors got attacked. You had to let people go. But the thing is, if you pay attention, because like I said, everything's so intense and so instant gratification, everything just fast, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
When the thing like that happens, when like somebody makes a big deal about something, it lasts for like a fucking week, and then it's on to the next thing, and they can give a fuck. So if those people just held on for like that week or two, just don't be spineless. Stand by your fucking, who you believe in. These people are not going to give a shit after a week or two, and it's the truth.
Well, he stands by his.
That's not America.
Well, he stands by his.
No, yes, it is.
He has not apologized.
What? Yeah, good.
Mike Boudet has not
he
apologized,
should not.
and he goes on to. He was actually in the Houston Sports Talk Radio, or not? It was a Houston Talk Radio episode, and he was talking about his podcast and how he would not apologize. He stands by his freedom of speech, and it was a joke.
Yeah,
if people can't take a joke,
right? But
then,
that's the point I'm trying to say. Like, people get like so fucking offended. But it only lasts for, like I said, for so long.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like sponsors up. If you sponsor a podcast, like if you're behind, like if you, like for example, Eureka Heights is one of our sponsors, and they're a local sponsor that we meet with face to face on a regular basis.
Yes.
And
good beers.
We they believe in us, but they back us. You know what I mean? Like, if we said something controversial, I don't know that they would back exactly what we would say, but they know us well enough to know that we're not going to say something that they're not going to agree with. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to come out and say, you know what I mean? Like, you're
hold on there, boy.
Okay.
I'm assuming a lot right now.
I know, but that's I understand. I understand what you're saying, but all it takes is a movement, a small person to start that fucking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
it's gotten to the point. Like, I'm sorry. Like, look, it's gotten to the point that, like, I'm saying, like, people are like, they don't want to, like, if people make an outrage, we're going to boycott, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we're pulling you out. That's it. We're done. That's it. It's gotten to that
that's
point.
What Disney did to James Gunn.
Right. But I'm saying, like, if they.
But they wised up. Sorry.
If they fucking. If companies, like, actually have a spine and just stand by, whatever it is, like, it's going to blow over. And if other companies follow, I know it's a risk, but some have to, it's like going in a line of battle. Like, when some have to fall down for the others, and for the others to fight, so to continue the fight, to keep it going.
Well, that's the
sacrifices are going to be made.
This is the big problem is that most companies in our society, they jump on a podcast, or they we'll use podcasts as an example, but anything. A company jumps on something for advertising revenue, and they're like, this is the next big thing. This is trending. Like, we want to get a part of this. We want people to see our brand, and so they jump on that, but they're not really sure what that is all about, what that program, what that podcast is all about. They don't really understand what they're getting behind. And then when one controversial thing happens, which is what being a podcast is all about, is it's whoever's on that podcast, hosting that podcast, speaking their thoughts to a wider audience.
Absolutely.
And, the audience members might not agree with everything that we say.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what? Don't listen to that episode. But, if or turn it off. But you don't have to
unsubscribe.
Fucking boycott and try to
but
have a set of words. Come on.
That's the whole problem is this mob mentality
It's
of
fucking
somebody
petty, too.
coming
Yeah,
out.
that's
It
the word.
is exactly petty. It's somebody coming out and saying, I don't like this, and you shouldn't like it either.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
that's exactly what's wrong with
That's
this country.
fucking
That
bullying,
expands
policing
into
it.
it's exactly it's bullying. Thank you. That's a very
great,
good.
actually. Look at it from the sponsor's point of view, though. Everybody loves money.
I understand that, and that's what I'm trying to say. If the ones that are bold enough and strong enough to stand by,
Of course.
whoever they, if that they follow suit, hey, maybe the other ones they're right because they know.
Well, then why? Okay, so
Okay, no, that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they know. They don't give a shit what they say. But these people are making a big deal or threatening to boycott and all this wasted energy on stupid bullshit just because somebody said a comment 10 fucking years ago.
Right.
Who gives a fuck?
But Disney stand by it, and eventually they wised up, right? They got him back in.
Well, then you see, that's what I'm trying to say. They should have fucking stand by. I understand, but I can kind of see why they did it but it's on because nobody knew about it until Disney made a point about it. Right, from what I remember, those tweets. Nobody.
No, it was a big deal before Disney got.
Well, I
before
thought
Disney responded.
because they made it even more of a big deal. Disney decided
Disney
to step
back-
in,
yeah.
and then
That
and made
is
it
true.
even. It really
done.
that's when
And
it got
everybody knew
everybody's
about it.
attention.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Everybody knew about it after that.
I kind of understand, but you got to ask yourself, why did they do that? Well, because they know that if the public finds out about their beloved, their James Gunn, he said this. Oh, he said that. Blah blah blah. I don't want his movies. Blah blah blah. And so that's why Disney went ahead. They knew that it was possibly inevitable. It was going to happen. So they went ahead and said, "Fuck you. You know what? We don't want you anymore because of that. We don't want to take any chances. You're going to hurt our brand or reputation. Blah blah blah. So you're out."
Well, that's the whole thing. Nobody's going to hurt Disney's brand. Nobody's going to hurt Disney's reputation. They've got more money than they know what to do with.
They already
Right.
own
But
once you spiral out of control, there's no way to get back on the road. It's hard to get back on the road, so they don't want to take that chance. I get that. It's just mainly. The root of the problem is the people themselves, the American people, or whatever, complaining and People in general.
The one that's making a big deal.
It's
Sometimes it just takes one fucking stupid asshole that's being petty. Oh, this person said this, and it takes a fucking hashtag and it spreads like fucking wildfire.
Can I make a disclaimer?
Sure.
Yeah.
If any of you guys don't like what we're saying,
Shut the fuck up
please
and
don't attack us or attack us. That's fine. Just don't sue us. Unsubscribe to our channel. Don't even listen to us. I don't care because
You know what?
I could care less on your opinion.
The thing is it's all about independent thought. There's nothing wrong with that. That's very important. We shouldn't be shunned and censored for that.
That's the reason why we have
take
freedom of speech, man.
Yeah, don't not only that, it's don't take especially when it comes to comedy, there's so much tragedy in our fucking lives. That's why I try to laugh and be goofy as much as I can because we all been through some shit and my mind, what I think is just it's so it gets so intense and so dark. Comedy is all I turn into. That's what most comedians they say they're depressed.
Yeah,
because they use comedy as a coping mechanism to deal with fucking life.
that's what I don't-
You're gonna tell me,
medicine.
like I was saying, don't fucking take. You're gonna sit there and take away that something that brings joy to a lot of fucking people. Yeah, it might be a little bit morbid or something a little different to you, but to others, it makes the world to them and it makes their fucking day.
Okay.
And it can go both ways.
To rebuttal that. I mean, I just realized what I was saying, and I kind of understand. I get where I'm coming from, but I'm think about what Michael Richards said. He thought it was comedy. He took it a little bit too far. Comedy is very subjective. Mm-hmm. I see that people, when they post stuff on social media, they're going to get canned immediately. But if they take it to the freaking improv and to a stage, they get a pass for the most part. A little bit more than social media
It
front,
depends.
right? Well, I think I would say
that incident that happened with Michael Richards.
Yeah, that
I mean,
right there, obviously. I mean, if you're going to post that on social media,
yeah.
you're going to be bad.
Well,
but
nobody posted that on social media. I mean, people started filming it.
Well, I know, I understand.
And, you know, he didn't want. I mean,
if Mike Boudet posted that, I mean, instead of posting that meme, if you went to an improv stage and said that joke, people would laugh at it. He would not get ridiculed the way he is, right? So I'm just trying to say is that I think the social media front is more gung-ho about canning people for something that they don't agree with. The comedians kind of get a little bit more pass, but it's a little bit broader than the social media front. Social media is a little bit more narrower. It's just kind of a straight shot. You're
well,
gonna
here's the other thing that's the direct result of this is, you know, because social media has become so reactive politically and to all these movements, and everybody wants to jump on there and tell you what you should and should not support. It's almost become like a fascist society online. And now, if you really go online and really get the social media climate of it, if you've noticed, if you really take a step back and look, it's slowed down. And I think that's because people are realizing that it's becoming reactive and people are using it and abusing it. And you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
They're abusing that power of the hashtag and saying, you know, hashtag, you know, fuck, you know, this or whatever,
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
that, or,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
fuck fur coats or fuck Pinewood furniture or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's whatever that is.
Pinewood
it doesn't matter. You know, that's
Because
what's
it's-
funny about
because
it.
this table's made out of
only-
pine wood.
I
I
didn't
get
even
it.
pull that. It was just a random word but you know what I mean?
solely on the
It's-
purpose of their own gain
Yeah.
Right.
or
It's-
narrative or
it's
some
one
shit.
person that's like,
Hear my voice.
yeah, it's one person that wants their voice heard, that scours the news, that finds one thing that they can jump on. They're like,
Yeah.
this.
I stated this earlier in the earlier episodes. That's basically a lot of people, what they do on social media. They come with this narrative that they think is right, or it could be, you know, just bullshit. They're just doing it for a like, a comment, a view, anything to get attention. And that's what's fucking scary about this.
No, that's true. That's true.
They'll spread any disinformation,
and
spin it or do whatever it is. They don't care.
Hashtag ultra clip.
Isn't there like in the
Yes.
terms and conditions?
I hate that shit.
Terms and conditions of a Twitter.
I hate when he does that.
I think it says to stay somewhere that you should not. There's no threats. If you threaten anything, they're going to deactivate your account, right?
Well, no, that was so. The biggest thing that happened out of this is, the website Tumblr basically got dissolved because of all the shit that, like, all these movements that started out of there. Like, everybody was like, well, we don't want this on here, we don't want this on there, and all these advertisers are like, well, you can't do anything on here, but like fucking no matter what you say, somebody's going to find it offensive. Well, you know what? The best part about the internet is that everybody gets a voice. If you don't like it, change the fucking channel.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's yes.
You don't have, just because you don't like something doesn't mean that you get to tell everybody else what they should and should not like. That's the beauty of freedom.
See, what I was trying to get at though is like these, you know, Twitter's a private company, right? Facebook is a private. I mean, not private, but I mean, what I'm trying to say, they could kind of set their own walls. So in the terms and conditions, Mike Boudet mentioned something like this, that you cannot be threatening, but he brought out a perfect point where the POTUS is constantly threatening about shit, but they allow him to run his Twitter feed. It's not confined. You can kind of get away with it, obviously, because of your power.
Right.
But I mean, there's always exceptions, and that's pretty much on any medium. There's always exceptions.
Always.
So
hashtag white privilege on that one.
Well, dang, that's two.
That's debatable. You know, I've been listening to a lot of other podcasts and seeing a lot of videos about when they talk about that kind of shit. But I think that especially Twitter, like it's weird because when they ban or decide to put you on probation or something like that, when it comes to like a tweet that somebody flags you or whatever, it's based on certain ideologies, and it seems like a lot of our ideologies are not. It seems like it's really too one-sided, based on like who they ban and what they consider harassment or anything or threatening, to someone, just
Same thing with YouTube.
Yeah, which would make sense.
It's subjective.
But to them, with their guidelines and their rules and ideologies, it's kind of all over the place,
Right.
and it's like
Of course, yeah.
it's not fair to. Well, what about other ideologies on the right? A lot of it is pleasing to the left, but to the right, like when the right gets involved in certain things, they immediately get banned a lot, and it's like ridiculous.
No.
So,
Well, here's the thing about that is that, and you're right, and that's what happens is you anything on the left, liberal, comes out, everybody's quick to jump on. Oh, this is the right thing. This is the whatever. You know what I mean? And then anybody that comes out on the right, it's like, well, this is what I believe. I believe on this. Blah 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 blah, and they get chastised immediately. And you feel like if you're online long enough and you're looking at things, you're like, this is an ultra liberal country. But when you look at the numbers, like if you go to an election, the numbers don't back that up. And it's like, why is that? Well, that's because people online are fake and people in real life are fake. And none of this shit lines up correctly.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
let me ask you something, man. Like, I think I was telling Raph about this one day. It just when reality, like right now, like we're just having a conversation, doing a podcast. Versus like when we go online, we go on social media, we read, we go on YouTube and watch videos, we see on Twitter, all that shit. It just seems like it really feels like a different reality. It's the internet, cyberspace. It's a
100% a different reality.
Yes, completely to like actual reality. It feels like, where is this chaos? And like I know I could say
It's
like
all bred by the media.
Yeah, and it's like I talk to most people. It's like they don't agree with a lot of the shit they like. People
It's all
are trying
bred-
to fight for. Like it
It's
makes
all
them
bred
fucking,
by the media.
Yeah.
If you watch the news
Big
long enough,
time.
you're like, there's this big class divide and all this shit, and it's this versus this. You know why movements don't last very long in the real world? Because they don't fucking exist in the real world. They're made up on social media
Nowadays,
and as they're pushed into the real world, and you push actual people that can have a brain and eyes and can think and feel for themselves. You push all these people together. You realize that most of these people are just hardworking Americans that are trying to get by and look after their family. And most people, and maybe this is just me thinking this. I like to see the good in most people, and most people are common, decent, understanding people.
I
and,
agree.
And, you know what I mean?
That's why it seems like that reality.
You can pick out a racist statement from anybody that has anything to say. But when you look at you could go back and listen to the 30 something plus episodes of this show and probably pick out and be like, this fucking white guy on this show right here is as racist as fuck. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, you come sit in my circle of friends and see what I've grown up with in my life, and know that like, I've got a ton of people. Most of the people that I'm friends with and I value their opinion are not white people. Like I grew up lower.
Of course.
Lower
Yeah,
middle class,
right.
You know what I mean? And I grew up. When I went to college, I went. I went to University of Houston. When I was in University of Houston, my dorm floor, it was all male floor, obviously. But I mean, there was probably, I don't know, 30 rooms on that floor.
Yeah.
And which means there were 60 people on that floor, and probably 45 of them were black.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'd probably say that 10 or 15 of those guys I still talk to and I'm still friends with.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like, growing up, if you're not raised with that, it doesn't trickle down. And in a few generations, it'll all be gone. But like this whole, like, the older people that are running the country and running the media are forcing that perspective on to younger generations, but it's losing its grip.
Yeah,
if you really notice
is.
and like really see like what's going on, some of these movements that try to take grasp, like, they're really losing traction they're losing traction a lot faster than they used to.
Yeah. So I mean, I know where you're coming from. So for those of you that do not know who Phil Anselmo is, he used to be the singer for Pantera.
Jason
So
just did.
exactly right. When Katrina hit in 2008, he came to Houston. He was at a bar, and my coworkers were at that bar, and they knew who he was. My coworkers, are straight from Mexico. They're Mexican.
Yeah.
He talked to them, hung out with them after the bar. He was like, guys, let's keep this party going. And he willingly paid for all their beers and went behind the bar, kept on it's Phil Anselmo at the bar.
Yeah.
He like the bartender or the owner or whoever was like, yeah, go behind the bar, just grab whatever you want. And they were partying till like 5 a.m. The guy's clearly not, I don't think he's a racist, but there's an event that happened at a concert where he did the Nazi salute and yelled out white power. And someone recorded that and blew it on the internet, and he catching a lot of flack right now about that. Well, years ago.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
But his rebuttal to that was, it wasn't that. It was because they had no booze. They were just drinking freaking white wine backstage.
Yeah.
And it was kind of an inside joke.
Yeah.
Right.
And I get that because you know what?
We do that all the fucking
guys,
time.
when they
I
drink
know, I do
beer
that.
and
I do
stuff like
that,
that, when
and
they're
I'm not
already
even
buzzing, they'll just joke around about bullshit. And that's what it is.
That's
and
the beauty of it.
And exactly.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's
But-
a fucking joke.
Yeah,
Like,
when you're look,
Like-
speaking as a white male, like I make racist jokes all the time, but you know the people I make the jokes to. No, I'm not a fucking racist because it's funny because of the
it's a
because of the
fucking
context.
joke.
Exactly.
It's a joke.
Yeah, here's
That's
the
all.
thing.
It's all joke. Jokes usually are backed by love, man. Like when we
Yeah.
fuck with people, that means like, hey, man, I'm just saying that because I like you, man. I'm just fucking with
That's
you,
true
man.
most of the time.
Like
except
it's
when
out
I
of
fuck with
love.
Raph. I
It's-
mean, that's
that's
a place.
No,
of
seriously,
pure hate.
it's some kind of I want to say affection, but like it's like consideration, like
Nah,
or care
sure.
for a person.
No, it's true. I kind of relate to that.
You know, this guy taught me years ago when I was in San Diego. He's like, hey man, like I know you gave you shit, but it's just because I like you.
Who is
man.
this guy?
You're a cool guy. Is just some guy I worked with years ago in San Diego in the telecom business. And he made. He was
dude,
cool
that's,
as shit.
That's so.
And he
that's
made
the
a
way
good
mechanics
point.
work. Also, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Like if you get hired on in a mechanic shop and you're working and nobody's giving you shit, nobody's fucking with you, they don't like you.
Yeah,
and
basically,
like, when
that's what he said.
When I
Yeah.
started in the business, like one of the guys was like, I really was like feeling down. I was like, man, these guys are fucking with me hard. And one of the older guys pulled me aside and he was like, hey man, we only fuck with you because we like you. Fuck with us back. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
where, like,
and that's
when
what
you
we
have to
do.
start- yeah,
that's what we do.
But I think that's a guy thing.
You know,
Yeah, girls
but you know,
don't-
but see, the thing is too, like,
Where do you see that as a like showing love? I mean,
Yeah,
you can joke
like-
with somebody that you know, but if
Right.
someone that you don't know,
fuck them.
are you showing love?
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
I have
Yes.
a
I was gonna
black
say-
coworker named Bobby. I genuinely care for this guy. This guy is cool as shit, and me and him, he cuts jokes at me
Yeah.
being Hispanic, man.
Right.
And it's hilarious. I don't have your work ethic because I'm not Latino. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
He says that, right?
yeah.
You know, but I mean,
Damn, that's a good one.
But
Yeah.
it's true. But it's like, but we joke around, and I genuinely care for this man.
Yeah.
It's crazy to say that, but I can see where you're coming from because
Yeah.
we cut jokes, and it's out of love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like in construction sites, man, I work plenty of fucking sites. It's mainly men and it's all different races. And we all fucking joke around. We poke.
Yeah.
We fuck with each other because like it's just a joke. Was like we like each other.
But what I'm trying to say
and we're
is
trying to
that
pass-
you can say that to people that you know, but when
Right.
you go out and you say it to people that you just walk in the passing
Well,
day,
sometimes in construction sites, like we fuck with each other too. Random people.
Well, that's
like,
what he's,
like
what
even
he's
like,
saying. What he's saying, you wouldn't
Well-
go to fucking 510 bar and just randomly.
Oh,
walk
right.
into somebody.
Of course.
You know
That
what I
would
mean?
make
That's what I'm
sense
trying to
because
say. You gotta-
the environment. Okay,
I gotcha.
the environment
Yeah.
because like we're in a
Exactly.
construction site, like it's fucking it sucks, but like
But you have the
joke
context
around
for that.
exactly. Yeah, you joke around, you fuck with each
Anything-
other because like,
that's what I'm.
trying to
That,
brighten
that's
it up.
all. This all goes down
okay.
to is everything anything taken out of context.
Right.
Is either not funny or
Right.
You know.
But, you know-
there's like you know what this whole conversation boils down to. Some of my favorite comedians are like the worst fucking comedians that like they say the worst shit. You know what I mean?
Roy
like
Scovel? I love him.
Like Daniel Tosh. Like that mother. God
fucking
damn.
hilarious.
He's
Yeah.
so funny. But god
Anthony
damn, if you
Jeselnik
really,
style, man.
yeah, Anthony Jeselnik is another one.
So
you
dark.
know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like that shit is like you really have to get that, but you really have to have had some shit happen to you in life to really
Yeah.
understand
See, yeah,
what they're
like,
talking
there's-
about. So
yeah.
like Daniel Tosh, one of the things he says is in one of his stand-up bits is he's like, if you've ever said this phrase, there's nothing funny about whatever, know that I hate you to your core. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can
Yeah.
find the comedy
In
in
anything.
anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And the problem is that most people that push back against that are people that have had no controversy in their lives at all, and they've had nothing to complain about, so they're trying to find something. to
Yeah,
complain
that would
about.
make sense because, like, well, what about the other people that have been through it? It's like, if I was to talk to them about what I'm telling you that you're offended, I guarantee they're gonna fucking laugh because they
So-
get it.
Exactly.
They've been through
There's-
it.
You
haven't been through it.
I had this. This was a while ago, but and I didn't pursue it, but. It happened to me, and then it happened to somebody else on social media, and I kind of followed along with it. There's this whole thing about cultural appropriation, and there's it's a bunch of fucking white people with white guilt, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically
Rob,
like
I'm listening.
it's basically like people basically call anything that white people do that's from another culture white appropriation. You know what I mean? Like it's
God, it's fucking-
and it's stupid as fuck. You know what I mean? So like and something got said somewhere along the lines of something with a Chinese something or something along the lines of that on social media, that I said something on Instagram, and I was inactive on Instagram for a long time because of this, and I deleted the comment and I deleted the post because I just didn't want to deal with it. But I said something about Chinese something, and it turned into this whole big thing. It was a few years. It was probably like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer ago than that. And this whole
Setting yourself up, Rob. What are we doing here?
no, just wait. Let me finish my thought.
Okay. Sorry.
So, it was a harmless joke, and it wasn't even anything that I honestly, like, saying it. I don't even remember what it was, but I'd say it now, and I have no problem saying it at all. And the only saving grace that I had on it was I said something about Chinese something or whatever. You know what I mean? And I have 3 Chinese cousins. You know what I mean? My aunt adopted 3 Chinese orphan girls from China, brought them to America, and they're my cousins. And you know what I mean? Like,
awesome.
it's
That's
never.
crazy.
I've never known. Nothing I said was racist about anything like that. Like,
But it's a social media
but
comment.
somebody took it out of context,
Course.
not knowing the background of it,
course.
and it blew up on this whole thing.
Because
see-
social media doesn't show any emotion. I'm sorry, go ahead, Paul.
That's the thing. Fucking Apu from The Simpsons said it himself in an older episode.
Oh,
in
shit.
Season
Simpsons. Going to The
7.
Simpsons, are we?
No, really. Like I'm paraphrasing, but he says, like, he's trying to tell Lisa because she wants to become a vegetarian. And she finds out there's like different kind of levels, and Apu doesn't eat like anything coming out of an animal, much less an animal or whatever. So
he's vegan.
Yeah. She was trying to become vegan too, but like she was like talking about like she eat cheese and milk, and like it's like, no, I don't eat anything that comes out of an animal. And he's like, what? And then basically he was telling her, look, Lisa, I learned a long time ago that people come from different backgrounds, and we have to just learn to tolerate, and tolerate each other. That's it. That's simple. People forget we come from different backgrounds. I understand when we get angry from different perspectives. We've had conversations amongst ourselves too. Like, we come angry, but it's coming from like if. From your perspective, like Rob, like if we had a conversation, whatever, and I'm saying something, it's just we all come from different backgrounds, so like we just got to learn to realize and like, hey, just he had a rough, childhood, whatever, just lay off or whatever. Just I don't know, it just all these.
It's easier said than done. It's easier said than
basically
done.
it's easier to have like a personal shield and also
No,
and
absolutely.
understand that. We all come from, like I said, different backgrounds.
Right,
and just
right.
tolerate it. There's,
That
you
all
can't
goes back-
fight it.
No.
You can't fight
That's-
it, man.
It all goes back to this whole concept of the social media, and I really feel like it's a social media experience for younger generation, and because it doesn't happen to people our age, it doesn't happen with people our age, but it's these, and I'm going to call them kids because I'm far enough removed from that.
Fucking old, I know you are.
But it's kids. It's goddamn whippersnappers.
Trilobite and shit.
You know what I mean? They have no real life experiences. Their parents have helped them through everything. They've never had to suffer or have any kind of controversy. Ultra white privilege. Ultra white guilt.
Any privilege. And come on, really, not just white. Not just white.
I want to hear what
happen to any race in this country too. By the way,
let me finish my thought. So yeah, and you know what? Every race has its own privilege in certain ways. White people have done it the best. But
that's subjective.
Hey, what about other people that are? What about people in Japan and Chinese and other countries that are primarily that fucking race? Aren't they privileged, or the ones that are rich? What do you call that?
No,
this country is predominantly fucking white.
No.
So I understand, if you go in a country, of course, their fucking race that's predominantly is going to be the ones in charge.
Yeah. So what I'm saying. I was trying to get at to what you were saying about we all come from different backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
So you're raised to be an asshole. It's okay to be an asshole to somebody?
No.
Fuck you. No, because that happened to me. I'm in the customer service business. Someone called me a jackass. I told him to get the fuck out. Straight up.
Hey, what are you going to do about it?
No, it comes to a point of respect as a fellow man.
I understand that.
No, and he was probably raised that way. And the guy is a fucking dentist.
Piece of shit.
No, he's a dentist, and he has the entitlement culture. I expect
there
certain
you
things.
go.
Right.
That's
what are you going to do? Yeah. Change it?
You can't change it. But I could tell him.
Okay. Well, you don't have to sit there and stand
down or eat the fuck out of
it. But I was trying to get at you come from a different background than me. Yes, I can be okay with it, and just you can I can stand here and you can disrespect me all day.
Right.
I'm not gonna. No one's gonna tolerate that.
Yeah.
That can only go so far.
I understand.
No one should tolerate.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And in this country, no one should have to tolerate that. Yeah. Just because. I think that the biggest problem in this country is that people don't understand what freedom of speech means. Freedom of speech means no consequences from the government, not from your fellow man and the people that have to listen to your dumbass talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just means that you can speak out against the government and what the government has to say, and you won't be put in prison for it. That doesn't mean that somebody's not going to punch you in your fucking face, or that they shouldn't punch you in your fucking face.
Right.
Because that's their right. Because I don't want, if you're spewing.
Well, no, then that's assault. Then you're fucking. Then
that's your fucking choice.
I know that. I'm not defending the one who's spreading
Glover said,
the hate
this
speech.
Is America.
Yeah.
No, you're right. No,
but it's assault. That's fine. I'm not agreeing with the guy in the hate speech,
but you don't have to listen
consequences.
To him.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. When I get in arguments with my family or my brother, you know what? One of us doesn't have to be here, so I choose to leave. I'm out of here.
No, and
that's the same fucking way. He can apply that to fucking anything. I don't like what he's saying. I'm turning this off.
Yeah.
You have a choice. People act like you don't have a fucking choice.
But see, I also look at it like this.
Do.
I also still look at it like this.
There's 1,000 channels on TV. Turn the channel.
No. But if I was to walk
Radio,
away from
whatever,
that,
you don't have to sit there and fuck.
No. It's true. I get where you're coming from, but it's like when a guy says something like that and disrespects a fellow man, I feel like I have to put him in his place, because if I don't, then he's going to do that to the next guy, to the next guy, to the next guy. And I think that
if he does it to somebody that punches him,
but what I'm trying to say is, I would like to think that because of my rebuttal, that he will be like, oh shit, you know what? Maybe I am in the wrong, because maybe he did it to 20 people in the past.
Self-awareness, and you brought to him. That's fine. But my point is, I understand that, but I'm just saying that, don't sit there and take shit from somebody. I'm just saying, when most people, when things upset you, at least for me, it's you know what? I get it. It's maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he's just a shitty person.
True. Yeah.
And I just don't let it to get the best of me.
Right.
And that can apply to anything versus of course it gets more intense. You're saying somebody personally coming up to you and doing it versus somebody online complaining about it and whatnot.
Online also could be out of context, like in Rob's experience. Can we open that thread again? Can we see what she said?
No, fuck that. Can we open that thread again?
Raph, I'm sorry.
Raph's been trying to chime in on this.
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
About the white privilege deal?
Yeah. No, because because he was saying something about when he said back in San Diego. I remember when I went to San Diego with him, this was a time where a lot of white people were like protesting out of Home Depots, like, you know, quit taking our jobs or blah blah blah. And we were driving by and we saw one of those crowds. And I rode down.
They've never been to Houston.
I rode down the window and I yell out, "White power!" And they cheered. And then they saw my face. And then they saw my face and they were like, They looked disappointed.
I forgot about that.
This is the South Park episode. That's they're taking our jobs.
This is in 2008.
It was beautiful.
2008, man.
You were in San Diego in
And they-
2008.
Yeah,
they
2007 to
cheered?
2008.
No, at
They
first-
rooted
Yeah.
for you.
At first they're like, yeah, and then they saw my, you know, I rode down the window. I wanted them to see me.
Let it rain.
I forgot about that.
They realized it was me.
Great,
They're
man.
like, whoa, wait a minute.
In case you don't know, Raph is Latino. Everybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very- Very Middle Eastern skin tone like though.
He's not Italian as his name would give off.
He's darker than this pine wood that's made out of this table. I can tell you that.
Yeah, just like my fuck.
I wanted to throw that in there because, I mean, shit.
Nice. I forgot
okay.
about that.
Okay.
Jesus
Now,
Christ.
Okay. I mean, okay, I did that in public and, you know, whatnot. Now, if I were to do that on the internet, do I get backlash?
Good point.
I mean, I'm
Exactly.
clearly Hispanic.
Clearly.
Like I'm brown, and I go white power on, you know, my Facebook or.
And if you
whatnot.
have, if
true?
you're at
Are
a
they
different
gonna-
tier
are
than where you're at now,
are
like
they
you're
gonna-
like 20 tiers up, like you're someone respectable.
Yeah, so, like, are people gonna be like, "Oh, look at this motherfucker!" Like look at this, look at this. Look at this asshole, like sucking the dick off, you know, like sucking the white man's dick or something like that. Like, you know, well, what's going on there? Like, are they gonna like hate me for that?
Rob style?
Like, are they gonna hate me for that if I did that, or are they gonna realize that it's an actual fucking joke?
No, you're right.
I mean,
no, it's a valid point, man.
Yeah.
And no, they will not think it's a
Oh.
joke because the mob will come out. The mob will come out for you.
yeah, no, I mean that's the thing, though. I mean, you do one thing,
Paul.
you do something, anything that's remotely disrespectful to one.
No, it
person.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's disrespectful or not. All that matters is are you a target? And
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
can somebody make you a
Yes,
target?
exactly.
It
You're
doesn't
right.
matter. It doesn't matter if what
Fucking-
you say is 100% right or 100% wrong or 20. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
That's
It is,
true.
Are you a target? Are you offensive to somebody?
Yes. Yeah.
somewhere.
Okay.
There is
with a voice.
You know what I would love?
I don't know what the word is. Hold on, Rob.
Okay, no,
Rob.
go ahead.
Well, basically, Rob, what you describe, I don't know the word, but it's a business. That's a fucking business. When you say it, people can fucking make money off of that.
Well,
shit.
that's the whole thing. Is that
Like-
it's this whole social media movement. I really feel like the attack, like making somebody a target, is all capitalism. I mean, it's all a business. So like, there's somebody that finds something. They're like, this I can make this offensive.
Yes.
Who's gonna back me? I'm pretty sure I can make money off of that.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing that is done. This is a very generalized statement. There is nothing that is done that is not worth doing for money.
Yeah. No,
It's
but
like the Joker says in The Dark Knight.
Short of sucking dick.
Jesus, Jacob.
The timing on that was fucking. Bam,
My God,
that was
man.
great.
Very nice. No, I was gonna say,
I mean,
okay.
to quote the Joker, I mean, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Yeah. That's true.
I was
Love
gonna say,
that.
you know what? Okay,
like
the
that.
guy from Swords and Scales. You said that.
Mike Budet.
Scale.
The scale. Single. It's a
Scale.
single. There's one scale here.
Classic rap.
Okay.
Fucking beater.
You're saying that they target.
Fucking everything plural shit.
Put that shit on
Double dares.
social media.
Opposite Asian.
I was on the
Everything
Facebooks.
singular.
I was at the Home Depots the other day.
You
This
said
isn't
that they-
racist. This
they
is an
attacked them-
observation,
they
people.
attacked
Fuck
them-
off.
They attacked his sponsors, correct?
Right.
Is that okay? what I would love to see.
Well, then
is-
then the network dropped him.
Okay, what I would love to see.
He got
is
fired
the
from his own
sponsor.
podcast, right?
Well, see, now it's kind of in the works because they got a lady doing the podcast now, and he's taking a
Really?
break. So I don't know if the network got him back on. But I'm sorry, Paul.
No. You know, it's funny because that day when you told me that happened, I later, I mean, like an
It was
hour later,
heartbreaking for
I know how much it means a lot to. I opened Spotify
Gay.
on my homepage.
Hey, you gotta say it right.
on Spotify. Yeah, you know, I opened my home very top, Sword and Scale.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was
They're
like,
big
you know,
time, dude.
like, damn, man, like
They're
I don't know,
big
it just
time.
seemed obvious. I don't know, like, or maybe fucking our phones listen.
Totes.
You know, like to our shit, and they,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
that happens all
Like
the
the
fucking
government,
time.
like the NSA?
Yeah,
Go
no,
ahead.
seriously. Like I was
listening.
talking about something has nothing to do. I didn't text. I knew over the phone. I was just talking about it with my
You
dad. I
opened
started
it?
getting ads for it.
Ultra.
Well,
Ultra Cliff,
Have you
yes.
looked it up? Have you looked it up on another computer that's linked up to your phone by any chance?
No.
No. You sure?
No.
Sure?
You sure?
I'm very sure.
I'm sorry, Ralph. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like, you know what I would love to see is
Nobody gives a fuck what you have to say.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty much that is true. But
I give a fuck.
I'll
No, you
you know what? Fuck you. I give a fuck about what I say.
I just told you, I
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. What I would love to see is about. What I would love to see is like, okay, a sponsor go. You know what? Like to the person that is attacking the individual is like the sponsor goes. You know what? Fuck you. I'm backing this person up. Don't buy my product.
Right, but I mean, my argument
see,
to that.
I'm just saying,
It would have to be a big enough corporation
Well,
where
okay.
that wouldn't matter. But the problem is that shit like that steamrolls. If they're like,
Yeah.
you know what, fuck you for attacking this guy. We believe in what he's saying well enough to like just stand our ground.
Yeah.
You know what
Just say-
happens? That person gets online and they start making posts
Yeah,
because
that's
they
true.
have nothing better to do. All
Yeah.
they want is the attention.
But see,
Yeah.
they're shouting
okay.
at the
But
black.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
But
You're
you know
right.
what?
Because
Okay.
You know what?
they
At
got
some,
the
see,
attention of
at
the-
you know what? At some point, the blackness shouts back, and somebody's like, "I agree with you." And then there's two people shouting, and then it just steamrolls into a whole thing.
Yeah, but
Alex Jones.
The
Alex Jones has always been crazy.
The
Don't start that.
sustainability of that fucking energy. For one, they're directing that energy towards. They shouldn't be doing it to better things. That energy eventually dies. Like I said, a week or two tops. Like they don't give a shit. It's on to the next fucking thing. It always happens.
Well-
no, it really does.
Well,
I've been
like
paying
they-
attention.
like the
it
Foo Fighters
really,
say.
they don't give a shit. Like they'll press on for so long.
Well-
like, oh yeah, and then they'll just stop giving a fuck about it.
Right now, the whole situation with the Sword and Skill podcast, people are still commenting about it, and like
Nobody gives a
How
fuck
long's
about
it been?
that. They're
About a
done.
week?
it's been about 3 weeks.
Dude, look,
almost
just like
about 3
it's-
weeks.
Dude, this
Yeah,
is
it's
all. It's just like the fucking Black Lives Matter movement. It's just like any of these other movements.
No, but it's
after
true.
a couple of weeks, it's true.
No,
it's true.
I get- I
They lose
get-
a little
it
momentum,
does.
and then
Exactly.
I get where you're
because
coming
this country
from.
is so attention
Until it
deficit
renews. No, I
disorder.
get where you're coming from, but until it renews, because it
Instant
will renew.
gratification
It'll
is what
renew
it
into
is.
something else.
Because
No,
but
the subject will renew eventually.
Okay,
Maybe.
well, the problem is too people lose interest very quickly. The people that are passionate, that are wanting to do something about it, they'll get filtered out eventually. Like you were saying, it's been going on 3 weeks. When it first started, that crowd, that number of people that were upset about what he said, I guarantee those numbers
It
are
probably
fucking
filtered down.
down.
It probably filtered down. Probably.
It filters down from like the weekend warriors to the actual
But
ones.
when someone else does it, does it not renew?
the what? Say
When
it again?
someone else does it, does it not renew?
When
Yeah,
someone else,
it'll
wait,
be
no,
used
hold
as
on,
a
wait.
reference.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It'll be used as a reference.
When another a popular podcast does it, will it not renew? It's like what I'm trying to say is that it depends on what the media gravitates. Everybody watches
Yeah.
the news and clicks into the news to watch negative shit. There's nothing positive in the
Yeah,
news. And why do you watch the
exactly.
news? Why do you read
People
the paper?
love-
You want
yeah.
negative shit, right?
Right.
So that's what the media is going to gravitate to.
Yeah.
Do you know why that is?
People,
It's
people like to
fucking
stir the pot.
revenue,
I guess. I
man.
don't know.
I wish Randy was here. Randy's in Mexico, but
He's
right
a
now, but
Mexican.
He's in Mexico on vacation right now.
God
I'm
damn it,
just
you
saying.
racist motherfucker.
Jesus Christ.
He speak taco by any chance?
said he was in Mexico.
He's Mexican,
All I do-
correcting his friend.
All I do,
Way to fuck
wow.
up everything he said.
Yeah, for
Hey.
real.
Rap, shut up.
All I was saying was this. And the reason I bring up Randy is a psychology major, so he always has something to say. Like, as
Oh,
far
I
as
would
this
love
goes.
to talk to Randy. That
We've been in here and talked to Randy.
no, but like I love psychology and psychotherapy. Yeah,
and
go ahead.
Shut the fuck.
we'll get
You
to that
fuck you.
later. God damn it! You distracted me. I forgot what I was talking
Talk
about.
about Randy.
Randy's a psychology
Yes,
major.
Right.
Randy's
He's
in
in
Mexico.
Mexico.
He
What
knows.
were we
You know,
talking
no,
about
no. You're
before
talking
that?
about before, like he knows
He's helping
about.
with the wall.
No, God damn
You
it!
said that.
No,
Rob said
Pretty
that.
sure.
no. Seriously, no. It was about. Man, they fucked it up for me too. I'm sorry.
I
I
lost
fucked it up. No.
I lost it.
No,
Welcome to Gentlemen
media.
of Class.
It was something to do with the media. Like you know why do they do that? What's called
Randy.
why do they gravitate to negative stories and shit like that?
Do you know why you
Oh, yes,
thank,
yes.
thank
Yes,
you, Paul.
I got it. I got it. I'm
we
on it.
got it.
Finally,
Do you
Paul
know
makes
why?
a strong argument here.
Do you know why? Do you know why the news gravitates towards negative stories? Because negative stories like that remind you that you're not in that bad of a situation, so it makes your whatever bad situation you're in seem that much better.
Well, I mean,
So it makes you
no. Hold on. They report.
it makes you okay.
Okay, wait, hold on. I can
That's
see
bullshit because they report on the fucking Mega Millionaire winner, and I want to be that guy.
that pisses me off.
Yeah.
That does not make me feel any better.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus
no,
Christ.
okay,
But that
no. I
gives you
see.
hope that you could possibly win it.
No, because I
Okay.
don't play.
Well,
Well, you can't win
I
if you don't play, motherfucker. Hashtag Texas Lotto.
I mean, I could see.
Hashtag Powerball.
The problem is with Rob. The problem is with. I mean, like I hear you out. That sounds like a good, plausible reason why they would do that. But like, just like anybody wants to make a buck. So wherever the money's at, and where what's going to drive revenue and like through what's it called through viewership. They're gonna spew whatever the fuck they want, like negative and whatever it is. Like we
Negative
all,
or
yeah.
why do
it
you
just
think-
seems like we are drawn to negative things. It just seems like that's what it is.
That's- but that's
People
what
love
I'm
to
telling
gossip,
you.
right? People love
Yeah,
to
but
gossip,
But that's
right?
what I'm telling you. Nobody, when you go to work today, you don't go in there and be like, "Oh my God, did you hear about this guy that adopted 14 puppies and saved them all off
Yeah,
the street?"
yeah, no,
you
we always talk about
the guy that
drama.
Fucking, you talk
Bang those 14 puppies,
Oh shit!
right? Yeah.
What?
Bang the 14 puppies, man.
God damn!
Jesus Christ.
Oh, are you watching Newsfix Channel 39? Is that where you got that from?
I was gonna be like, drown. the
Fucking-
puppies,
Oh,
but
what
I mean,
is
you're-
it?
Fucking
Bang, drown.
Newsfix Channel 39.
Hey, he gave him a
Local Estonians,
At least
that
that
is-
person gives him a fighting chance by
That
banging
is-
him. He didn't kill him.
Newsfix Channel 39
Just
is
me?
the equivalent of Nickelback of fucking TV stations.
No.
Wait a minute, I thought
That's
Yes,
your
they are.
opinion.
That
That's
is
not the opinion of
fucking
gentlemen.
terrible.
That is not the
Somebody
opinion of gentlemen no
replace
class. No.
Nickelback.
That's not the opinion of gentlemen no class.
What?
Yeah,
That is not
that's
the
it.
opinion of gentlemen no class.
No, absolutely.
Hashtag Newsfix.
But no, Newsfix, no offense, like, well, we fit within the same class. We're shitty too, so,
Hey, hold on.
We're probably
You're talking about-
we're shittier than
You're
you
talking
are.
about WB 39?
Yes, Newsfix.
Oh man, I can't talk about WB 39, man. I'm on this.
Oh, yeah, NDA?
No, I've been watching Buffy.
What the fuck, Rob?
What do they got on you?
They got, you know what they got? You know what they got? They got Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, yeah, you've been watching that. You have been watching. That's hilarious.
Embarrassment?
Okay, I get it. All right, hey.
I mean,
No.
that's okay.
I've been watching it on Hulu, but
It's a
I mean,
hardcore
still.
pop culture reference, and Rob said it's pretty damn good. So I might dabble into
Who's the
that.
star? Who's the star again?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Dude, Sarah Michelle Gellar and fucking Selma Blair making out still gets me fucking.
Oh, what's
Every
it called?
fucking time.
Oh, and
Cruel Intentions.
Cruel
Cruel
Intentions.
That
yeah.
still gets me.
What's his
I
name?
They made a Cruel
Ryan
Intentions too
Filipino.
with-
What's his
with
name?
Ryan Phillippe.
Oh yeah,
Filipino?
Hashtag business time IPA.
Thank you, Eureka Heights. Thank you, Evan. Honey, baby. Hey, Evan, next time you see me, get a couple of beers on the wings from me, if you know what I mean, right?
Oh, Jesus
Chop, chop.
Christ.
Evan, please don't hurt me.
Oh wow!
Oh, Jesus.
Where are we at? Dude?
I mean, this is not a debate. This is just an ongoing discussion because there's no way to resolve this.
No.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean, either way, it's thought provoking.
We can't solve the
Yeah,
internet.
no.
Exactly.
The
And
point
that's-
is like I stand by what I said. It's like we all come from different backgrounds. Try to tolerate
Fuck
as
that.
much as you can.
I
understand, like, but you know, like if you want to let it bother you,
All right.
then you could do. You have
No.
options.
All right, hold on. Let's
You
do
have
this.
options.
Let's do this. We'll go around the table.
Okay.
Hashtag Jerry Springer. Final thoughts, Jake.
I agree with Paul saying that we all come from different backgrounds, and I'm with that to a certain degree. I think when someone comes in, it's like I dished out $5,000 to my son to help him start a business. Okay, we come from different backgrounds. You come from a wealthy fucking family, okay, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But when you come to cross that line, and everybody's human, when you disrespect somebody. Because we're a fellow man. I won't say anything negative to anybody.
To their face.
No. Well, I mean, okay, yeah, good point. But, I mean, I'm respectful to anybody. And once you cross that line and being disrespectful, then that's where I think you throw the whole background thing out the window. Because you're not being a polite person. Because I think that's what the world needs a little bit. Need a little bit more politeness to everybody.
Right,
and I think that'll
right.
lessen everything.
Hold
Yeah.
on. I think that.
Okay, I'm going to clarify my statement too. You're
ahead, go
bringing a
ahead.
good point, but no, whenever you're done, I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Hashtag done.
Raph, get the fuck over.
What?
You're done. Okay, it's my turn.
Okay, very nice. No, shit. Go.
Jesus,
You
dude.
can speak, then I'll speak. You know
He's
what?
white.
No, I'll do the
Obviously,
gentleman
white.
thing. I'll do the gentleman thing. And
Typical.
you speak 'cause
You're half
you're-
white
you're
and you're
already-
skipping.
Hey!
fucking. God damn it!
No, go ahead.
No, you go. It's your turn. I'll wait. I can wait.
Jesus,
Raph, final thoughts.
I wanted to hear. Okay, my thoughts basically. Okay, in person, of course, respect thy fellow person. But when you're on social media and you do something on social media, know your audience, I guess. But if you're on such a high platform that so many people are fucking listening to or watching what you do on the internet or social media, to clarify, but and you post something, I mean, you're always gonna get someone that probably is like, oh, I don't like that, but yeah, what was stated earlier is, are you big enough so that I can attack you? I mean, my personal opinion is I'm still gonna fucking post whatever I think is funny or whatever but I'm gonna still respect my fellow person as long as they respect me. That's pretty much it. That's if you want to fucking get mad at fucking what I say on the internet, then you're dumb as shit.
Yeah. That's not very respectful,
nice.
but whatever.
No,
Right.
shit. I mean, the internet is just so that I can fucking play.
Yeah.
I play on the internet. I mean, that's a playground.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not you playing on the internet, just people in general. Paul,
Trolls. Yeah. Well, basically, like I was saying to
Did you
clarify my
just call Paul a
statement.
troll?
And I said Paul. Troll, Paul,
Yeah,
troll.
whatever.
and-
I said
whatever.
troll, whatever. Well, just going back to the whole point of we all come from different backgrounds, learn to tolerate from each other. What I meant to clarify was also when in viewpoints, not necessarily being an asshole or whatever.
Right.
You make a good point. That's a difference. That's showing being respectful for one of each other at that point. Right. When he's saying when he's obviously from a different background, he's being a dick, but he's crossing the line right there. That's disrespect. What I meant is just viewpoints. We all
Absolutely.
come from different backgrounds, so we're all going to have different viewpoints.
Of course.
I might not agree with it, but I'm not gonna tell you not to do it.
course.
If that's what you believe, and as long as it's not hurting anybody, yeah, go ahead. I don't care. But we just why can't we just have civil conversations about these problems and stop fucking bickering and fighting. I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Fighting and stop being petty about stupid bullshit and be adults and let's fucking and just do this.
I'm with you.
There's
Absolutely.
no need for this easy target bullshit. That's what it is.
Blink-182
Like Bob said,
song.
is this a person to target and how much can I fucking wreak off of them?
Yeah.
basically. So yeah, that's my point.
No, it's a fair point. Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Viewpoints. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think it's a matter of respect, and it's a matter of a generational gap that was lost in the people that grew up without the internet. All of us here grew up at some point without the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's something that's lost on people. It's something that scares me for my children. That, you know, this whole idea of cyberbullying, you know, things that get sent out and you know,
Yeah.
I can deal with the bully in real life. I've dealt with bullies in real life my whole life. You know what I mean? Somebody has something to say that differentiates from what I have to say. You either ignore them and walk away, or you confront them and you deal with it. You either come to blows with it and walk away. You win or lose.
Yeah.
But I think that this whole anything that happens online, as far as, you know, any of these movements that get started, any of these things that get said that get blown out of proportion, is some form of bullying. It's some form of somebody that didn't get taken seriously at some point in time, that can't say that to somebody else, that has no other platform to hear their voice heard. They're going to try to find some way to make their voice heard. So they're going to find the weakest link and the weakest argument to say something to, and they're going to take it out of context, and they're going to voice their, not even, and I don't even really think it's their opinion. It's whatever opinion they think is going to have the biggest impact and the biggest rallying cry against. And that's what they're going to gravitate towards. And that's what they're going to post. And the internet ends up being just this big fake bunch of people arguing against something that they don't really believe in. And it gives you this false context of what life in this world, in this country, in this state, city, whatever, in this reality that you're in is. And it's a false reality. It's not a true reality.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just like I was saying, that separate reality versus cyberspace reality versus actual reality. It seems so distant, and it's like, is this really happening? But it doesn't seem real.
There's
in
only
reality.
So to leave you, our wonderful listening audience.
I was gonna say one more thing too. But
go ahead. No. You go ahead, because I have something I want to end this.
Okay, and I want to say something after Paul.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I don't need a pee too.
No, yeah. I got to piss too. Yeah. Shut the fuck up! The thing is too, like when people say anything, whatever. I know I said this before. The problem is,
why are you saying it again?
Yeah. The problem is with a lot of this stuff too is acceptance. Whatever, like if you're going to say something, don't expect everybody to accept what you're going to say, whatever you're going to do, whatever. Because for some reason, maybe not even any reason, somebody's going to attack you or not like you just because of, maybe there is a reason, but most likely sometimes there's not even a reason.
That's true.
They just want to attack. And
unless you're a flat earther,
yeah, right. But don't let that bother you. Like for me, I had that problem for almost 30 years of my life. I had an acceptance problem. If somebody, I did my best to people please. Yeah, I'm serious. And somebody that I didn't. I thought I pissed off, or I knew I pissed off. I lost sleep over it because it hurt me. But I realized that, not everybody's going to accept you.
Right.
So don't worry about it. When, just be you. Like, if whatever you're going to say, it's backed by substance, you believe it, and whatever. I'm just saying,
are you done talking yet?
Sorry, I'm just saying acceptance. You're not going to get it all.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it. It's okay. It's okay.
And
there's nothing wrong with it.
And that's okay.
Can I just say one little tidbit here? Please. You started off like we were all kind of in the age where we developed when we saw the internet grow, right?
Right.
Well, was your first website Playboy.com or Sex.com, or was it just me?
It was goatseed.com.
Goatseed.com?
Goat.se.
What the fuck do you know about that in your first search? on the internet?
Well,
I was hashtag
missed the
dark
question.
web.
I missed the question. What was the question?
No, the first search on the internet, like when you first got the internet, you're like, oh
Dude,
shit.
I don't remember.
I think it was Playboy or Sex.com. One, it was for me.
Probably.
Free ones.
I remember my
Free
first
ones.
chat.
Okay, we're not.
Free ones.
This is a whole new episode.
No. You started it with your fucking
You're veering
monologue
off.
here. I'm going to fucking gravitate to that.
No, we're not going to the
Fucking monologue.
internet. You're
I thought that was
changing
me.
topics.
I was just fucking complimenting your fucking monologue. That's all. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
You did a good job on that.
Okay, go ahead.
You
Finish
spoke
it off,
with the hot-
Mr. Sir.
Fuck that.
Spoke with the hot.
I'm gonna
Mr.
leave it. I'm gonna leave this.
But hating you hot.
I'm gonna leave this with one of my favorite quotes.
I got a quote for you.
Going gets weird. The weird turns pro.
Be excellent to each other.
Be excellent to each other.
Oh yeah.
I like that. That
Party
way,
on.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah?
say that's Garth, right?
No,
No.
that is Bill and Ted.
Bill.
Oh, Bill and Ted? Huh, I fucked that up.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I've never seen it.
Can't wait for part 3.
Yeah, they're coming back. We missed that in the fucking.
We talked about it last episode, dummy.
Yeah.
Well,
Just like you called me out, I'm calling you out.
thank you. Fair enough, Rob. And on that insult,
Fuck.
I'm Jake.
Insults and you. Fuck you. Fuck you too. Mainly fuck you.
I'm Raph.
And a big rainbow fuck you to you, Rob.
I don't give a shit
Say
what
your
you think
name,
about me.
please.
Oh, my name's Paul, by the way. Raph, I don't think you even said your name.
I did.
He did,
I said
he
my
did.
name's Raph.
He didn't say his name. You fucking skipped over everybody. You talk over everybody else.
That's what I do. I try.
We all said our names.
Who's in our names?
Oh, I didn't hear him say it.
The judge wouldn't allow me to do this last time, so I'm going to do
All
it
right,
now.
Jake, Raph, Paul, I'm Rob. We're gentlemen, no class.
Yeah,
We'll
you're
see you next
fucking
time.
right. I fucking love you.
You don't speak for me.